All right. So I'm in my car, and this is my English project about mechanical literacy. Now, we all become literate in a bunch of things as we develop in this world, and one of the things I've become literate at is figuring out how stuff works and how to fix it. It was mostly out of necessity, like, hey, something broke, now I don't have it until I can fix it again. And like, if my car breaks, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to pay someone else to fix it when I can go on YouTube and learn how to fix that. Because there's so many YouTube videos on how to fix everything you can think about with your car, or with your bike, or with your washing machine. And so that's what my dad and I have been doing. My primary literacy sponsor with this has been my dad, because he kind of did the same thing. My parents got married really young and then moved out to Los Angeles like morons, and he had nothing but his old POS Honda Civic, and he didn't know anything about how to fix it. And so what he did is he bought a Haynes manual, and he had to change his thermostat, which is a little thing that decides whether or not your engine gets coolant or not. Lets it warm up and then it circulates to cool it off. Anyway, he had no idea how to do it, and then he had to read this Haynes manual that told him how to do it. And that, I mean, that ties into English and reading and writing is you need to learn how to read these technical manuals on how to fix something. There's so many step-by-step processes on how to repair your car. And also, just like how just like writing has a bunch of, oh gosh, well, it seems the roads in Athens were built by the Romans. So just like how writing has rules and things you need to follow, fixing cars has rules and things you need to follow. Like, before you take a wheel off, you need to loosen the lug nuts a little bit before you put it up on the jacks. You need to loosen the lugs before you raise the car up, because if you try and loosen a wheel, if you try and loosen the lugs that are attached to the wheel's just going to spin around and it's not going to work. Okay, so like from the beginning. Okay, so when I was really young, I already knew that I liked cars. And like, some kids are like naturally good at math, and some are really good at like football or other sports. I wasn't good at sports, but what I was really good at was driving for some reason. I was just naturally a good driver, and which is kind of weird, but like, I was never taught how to drive, which is kind of strange. I just kind of started driving. Like, I would sit on my dad's lap while steering the car through like the neighborhood or a campground or something, and it gradually worked from there. And I'd say maybe when I was around like 12, I started like actually watching my dad when he would fix the car, like, something wrong, and I'd watch him do brakes. Or, you see, we have this 75 Chevy Caprice, which we named Loretta because it's red, of course. And as with any old car, that one requires some maintenance here and there. One thing is the spark plugs get all gummed up with oil because one of the O-rings, one of the seals, cracked in the engine, so it burns a little bit of oil with the gasoline, which is fine, except oil produces a lot of soot when it burns. It gets like makes a bunch of gunk, and that gets caught in the builds up in the spark plugs, and that way the spark plug doesn't produce a good enough spark and it doesn't ignite the gasoline, which is its job. So that requires unfouling the spark plugs. You know, one of them will get gummed up, and then the engine will run like a, you know, it'll feel like you're driving a tank, because it'll just shake all the time. And so what you do is, one by one, you take the spark plug off and you look at it and you clean it off with a little wire brush and put it back in. And you do that to all 8 of them, and then the car runs like a top again. So that I learned how to do at a very young age, because, you know, my dad would be at work and you know, the car doesn't work. So hey, you know, you can fix it while I'm at work if you want. So that was fun. And oh my gosh, this road. So I learned how to do that, and I've always liked riding my bike too. And, you know, summer of 2005, what was I, in 7th grade or 6th grade? My friend Jordan and I would disassemble our bikes and put them back together just for fun. And we would also go to garage sales and find like cheap bikes, and we'd find a series of bikes and then mix all the parts together and like make our own like bike. We thought we were so cool. We'd make our own bike, so to speak, and a lot of them didn't work. A lot of them fell apart. But you know, we thought we were being creative with it. And by doing that, I became a little bit more mechanically literate, and gradually started just doing my own bike repairs, such as cleaning the chain, or I fixed a lot of flat tires. A lot of flat tires in my day. And so I'd fix flat tires and clean the chain, wash my bike, or stuff like that. And then when I started driving, I really started doing a lot of car maintenance, because, you know, I'm using the car and I'd be driving it and something would break. You know, like cleaning the spark plugs on Loretta. That was always a fun one. You clean it with some gasoline and a wire brush, and good as new. And I did that. I also learned how to do brakes. Changing the brakes is something that you can save you thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. Because if you take your car in and, you know, you need new brake pads, they'll charge you like close to $800, upwards of $1,000. But you can buy the parts yourself for about $200. You can learn how to